Hey, everybody. On today's Madge Unmuted, we're going to talk about the stars. No, just not me. Astrology stars. With Marcia Wade, we're going to hear all about Fitz's birth chart and why he's such a dick. Just kidding. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Madge Unmuted. I am your well-rested and well-tanned kind of hostess, Madge Madigan. Welcome back to Madge Unmuted. I have not been here in a while. And that other voice you hear is Fitz.
How did you do that? How did you get all like in your swimsuit and the cool 1950s sunglasses? And when I'm looking right through the glass. I can't even see that. You're very sly.
Ancient Chinese secret. That's an old...
I don't think you can even quote that anymore.
You can't say that commercial anymore. Cultural appropriation. Sorry. Anyway, Fitz.
Hi.
With Rockfox Studios. I'll take up. Fitz, Rockfox Studios. And want to do any recording? Any video? You could do it remote. You don't even need to be here. Fitz can help you.
That's right.
I'm telling you. And even the smallest thing, you want to do a little video for your intro on your website, Fitz, rockfox.com.
We're doing boudoir videos now.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I almost came out. Why am I dressed like this?
Why are you dressed like that, Madge?
Because I just got back from vacation. After being sick for the entire month of January. That was a lot of fun.
That's my turn.
I know, sorry. Fitz is sick now. I got COVID and then, and I was fine for like 5 days and then I got bronchitis.
Yay.
And, yeah.
But wait, there's more.
I still have the cough and fucking people are like, hey, do you have COVID? I'm like, no, I took 18 tests to get in and out of the country. I know I don't have COVID, and I just had it because I took a test.
That's the thing now. It's like if you're sick, you have COVID. Doesn't matter what you know.
I know.
You've got COVID.
And I would even explain to them, what just happened? Oh, you sure? I'm like, oh my God, I feel like a leper. Where's Jesus? So anyway, let me take off my glasses and put on my other glasses. How can you look so fabulous, you might say, Madge?
How can you look so fabulous, Madge?
I don't know, because I'm like this because
Because of the wonderful things he does?
Because I bought this lovely caftan.
Woo!
Woo!
It's like a dead heat in a Zeppelin race.
And I bought it on the last day of vacation. And I live in Western New York. So I ain't going to be able to wear this shit for like another 6 months. So I'm like, I'm going to get, now look, I'm all caught up. Oh, I'm going to get my money's worth.
There you go.
So I'm wearing it. And I even got the shoes.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Woohoo!
Biggins.
Because this is what...
Where'd you go?
I know,
She's gone.
What I came in with.
Right. Snow boots.
So anyway, wait, I had a couple quick things I wanted to mention, and then we'll get to our guest. I can't wait. Okay, so yeah. Oh, and the tan. I can't waste the tan because it doesn't happen.
You really did a good job as an Irish lass. We don't tan. We just freckle more.
Yeah,
it looks like more like we got in a slap fight, if anything.
Yeah, pretty much. I posted pictures of this online. People were like, "You're glowing," and I'm like, and not like, "Oh, you're glowing." Like, no, literally, your skin is. But anyway,
Rock
so
lobster.
Yes. Anyway, so no, I actually went away to the sanatorium for a month. I'm kidding. That's what old rich guys used to do to get rid of their wives so they could hang around with their mistresses.
Go to the sanatorium.
Have them committed.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, so I have Marcia Wade with us, and the reason we'll bring Marcia in. Marcia Wade, Astrologer Extraordinaire. Everyone, meet Marcia. Marcia, say hi.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Matt.
Hello. Hello. So we have Marcia here today as a dear friend of mine, and she is going to help us with, well, first, she has a lot to say, and I'll tell you about her business. Well, she'll tell you about her business, but also we have a little surprise because when you'll be watching this, yesterday would have been Fitz's birthday.
No, I'm so confused. That's yesterday, which is tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. We're recording it tomorrow.
So, okay.
And when people are watching this, it will already have
February
happened.
16th.
February 16th is Fitz's birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Isn't that sweet?
Happy
Is that real?
birthday. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I'm trying not to.
I thought maybe it was one of those that you could like squeeze it and it's like a dog toy or something. That's great.
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So it's here, and you're sick, so I'll just kind of leave it at the door and run away, and you can get it afterwards. But Marcia, tell us. The reason I said that is because I gave Fitz's birth information to Marcia as a little present to him. I'm going to have her take a look and see what she sees about Fitz.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
So Marcia, tell us what you do.
Well, I am an astrologer, which means I look at what's going on in the stars and how that's affecting us. And when I say stars, I really mean stars and planets. And in particular, I look at the pattern, the map of the sky at the moment that you took your first breath. Because the idea of astrology, which is very old, as long as we've been here, we've been looking at the stars and making the connections with what happens on Earth. Literally, the oldest cave paintings are of what people saw when they looked up at the sky.
Well, yeah, and that I've been in Marcia's group. We have an online group that Marcia does these lovely presentations with about every couple of weeks and explains what phase we're going into and whatnot. And if you don't believe in it, at the very least, it's freaking interesting because Marcia just said humans have been following astrology since the dawn of time. Think of how we guided ourselves originally. The sky.
Yeah, that was their connection to nature was
I was
going to
say they planted the crops by the sky. They harvested the crops by the sky. They did everything. And the other thing that I think Marcia combines with astrology is Greek mythology. And it's weird, and I've asked her before because it's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did they name the planets and their things after Greek mythology, or Greek mythology planned them? So anyway, there's that, right, Marcia?
There is that. And actually now, this is really the coolest time ever to be studying astrology because we're learning so much about the universe, even our own solar system. We're still discovering planets in our own solar system, not the great big, the giant planets that we learned about in school, but planets that are going around the sun. Some of them are have moons of their own.
Yeah.
So the new planets that we're discovering are not from the Greek mythology. They're drawn from indigenous cultures from all over the world.
That's right.
It really signals, because there's a fascinating thing that we can see if we go back and look at the history of planet discovery. Mm-hmm. Every time we discover a new planet, something happens on Earth that kind of symbolizes the energy of that planet. It's like there's a connection between our mind and the mind of the universe. A lot of physicists think the whole universe is conscious, and I'm not a physicist. I'm an astrologer, but I really do agree with that.
And that's the whole idea of like quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and stuff. It's way beyond my pay grade of what I can understand, but it's fascinating as hell.
Yeah, it is. So why don't we do this? Because Marcia can also explain a little as we go along about. I gave you Fitz's birth information, and it's important to know date, year, time, and place, because obviously the skies look different in different places. So, can you tell us why Fitz is such an asshole from his birth chart?
Well, he is
an asshole.
No, he is stubborn. He does have a stubborn streak, and that's because he's got so many of his planets, including the sun when Fitz was born and the moon, were in the stubborn signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Those are the signs that really, like, they're going to stand their ground. Fitz, I'm guessing you don't only have fixed planets. You can, your mind actually is one of the most flexible things about you. But for you to make a change, even though you love change and you're kind of at the leading edge of change, you're really a paradox because you also don't change on a whim. And that's really one of the very creative aspects of your working relationship, because you really feed off each other. It's so
me and him?
Birth charts, yeah.
Stop feeding off me. It's disgusting.
God, you parasite.
You're such a parasite.
Maybe I should say you ignite each other.
But that's true. We do have that on microphone chemistry that really works.
The conversational chemistry. So quick, can you tell us? So what is Fitz's sun, moon, and rising sign?
So Fitz's sun sign is Aquarius.
This is the
and Fitz, you may have heard, we're headed into the age of Aquarius. And when we say that, an astrological age is like this 2,500 year, it's a long period of time, and we're just moving into it. It's like an era in consciousness. So basically, Fitz, this is the best time ever to be born with the sun in Aquarius. You're just coming into your best time.
To think my high school guidance counselor said I'd never amount to anything. 2,500 years of Fitz, baby. Let's do it.
And his whatever.
His moon sign is in Leo. So here's the thing about that, and it's going to make this year really special in a way you've only experienced one other time. Let's see, is that right? Third time since you were born, that you were born on the day of a full moon in Leo. Because Leo and Aquarius are right across from each other. If your sun is in Aquarius, yours is, and your moon is in Leo, that means the moon, you were born like 9 hours before a full moon. So every Leo full moon for you is like every February when the moon is, that full moon is kind of, your energy is in maximum resonance with the universe. But tomorrow,
except today.
I know
tomorrow's a full moon.
And I hope you're feeling better tomorrow. But no matter how you're physically feeling, tomorrow is something that's only happened once since you were born. And that is the moon is going to be full on your birthday.
Wow.
So like you're really ready.
Time for human sacrifice.
Go to a whole new level. Your life is really ready to go to a new level. And there's something this year is going to unfold as you become more and more clear about what's not working anymore. What's really done? What's it time to let go of?
Sorry.
You don't want to let go of everything, obviously. But the more you figure out what's not working for you anymore, the more quickly your life will go to a whole new level.
Tell you what, being 50 pounds overweight isn't working for me anymore.
You are not 50 pounds overweight.
You need to pay attention. Whatever comes up for you This is not the year, follow your intuition, trust your gut feelings. It's really important.
So that's really interesting because I already decided about 2 weeks ago that because this is my 49th year,
Yay!
I was going to dedicate my 49th year to getting into the best shape physically and mentally, emotionally of my life so that when I turn 50, I'm my best self.
Absolutely.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
And that's a great sign of what I see so often. We are, we know we're literally made of star stuff. Every atom in your being was made in a star. So why wouldn't we be affected by what's happening in the stars? And we're so connected. And I do find that what the birth chart is really saying most loudly and clearly, when I tell that to people, they almost always have already been thinking about that or already been feeling about it. It's really, I think, what the most important thing astrologers do is go, you're right. Listen to that. It's in the stars. This is big. Because, when I turned 50 a long time ago,
oh, come on.
We're all making a basic, really fundamental decision when we're 50. Are we going to keep living or are we slowly start dying?
Yep.
And
I'm sorry, I'm 56 and I'm at the best time in my life. I've done so much good changing. People who this society values youth so much. Fuck that. We're so much smarter and confident and whatever. Right?
Yes. And that gets to two things that are one other thing that's really significant and powerful about this birthday and the astrology that's in play on your birthday it's like you'll be living this for the whole year. So it's not just that there's a full moon tomorrow, and full moons are very auspicious. That's when everything's
Human
ready
sacrifice.
to go to the next level. But this is a really special full moon because tomorrow, Venus and Mars, the two lovers of the cosmos, are conjoining, which they do sometimes
they have
this is
conjugal visits, Venus and Mars.
They do. They merge their energies, and it's very creative, auspicious, passionate. It's a great time for new beginnings in all the things that Venus and Mars rule. Taking action, new beginnings in creativity, in love, and in money and abundance.
I love it.
Beauty, art,
Speak
all
my
of that.
language.
So, yes, all of that is your language. And here's the thing. Venus and Mars are conjoining tomorrow. And then in 2.5 weeks, they're conjoining again. So that's like 2 times in less than 3 weeks.
Wow,
That
that's
is
more than
very rare and very powerful. And tomorrow, the first conjunction is on your birthday, and it's happening in the sign of Capricorn, which is the sign where we push ourselves, or sometimes we get the push, to step out of our comfort zone and to turn our potential into reality. Sometimes it can feel like, you got to be kidding. But when we look back, we can see, really, it was for the best. So it's possible that this push you're getting outside of your comfort zone by not feeling so great today, because you do have the planet Mars, your drive, your motivation, the way you take action, and also your health, your physical body also. Mars is in your sign of health. So your Mars is in Capricorn. So, and that's where this new beginning is starting. So it's almost like your own body is like bowl facing and underlining this intention that you have to get in the best shape ever.
Wow. That's amazing.
Is it?
Oh,
Is
yes.
it's? I'm telling you, this stuff that, because I've always been skeptical, but just to follow these things that Marcia does and Amy, that we have on, it's like every time I have a Amy White, pole dancing intuitive, they always like have the same messages at the same time, and it has to do with planets and energy, and I'm like, okay. 4 out of 5 dentists can't be wrong. So yeah, because like I think I had a thing like me being sick the whole time of January. I had a thing that was telling me to basically like slow the fuck down, and that's what it was. Apparently, my body was like, just take a rest, Madge. Not a good one, but am I going to have any abundance coming up?
We're
Other than
all
fat?
gonna have abundance coming up.
Oh.
But yes, for a different reason than for Fitz. So you're having abundance coming up as you let go. And I know you've been doing this, but the more you let go of anything related to old feelings, how we can
Oh yeah.
kind of not feel like we can let go of something that was really devastating or that just was so unfair. That's your superpower this year. The more you can let go of those things, whatever it takes, the more abundance, because the place of letting go for all of us this year is in the sign of Scorpio, and that's the
My moon
energy. That's where your moon is, your emotional intelligence, but also she's in your money house. So what you hold on to emotionally, when you hold on to the good stuff, you're magnetizing your money energy. And when you find it hard to let go of the painful stuff, it can cloud up your money energy.
Yeah, because Fitz and I both have a propensity to feel down and feel like nothing good's ever going to happen. Well, mostly me anyway.
No, I
know
can
you do
that as well.
We both. It's that Irish thing, like Irish guilt, and we're destined. Nothing good is ever going to happen to us. We're not worthy. Oh, that's a big one. I don't deserve anything. I'm going to flog myself. So even if you don't believe in the stars, like that's basic stuff that affects you. Like not just the energy stuff, like making room. It just makes you a less miserable person. And I didn't realize how much I had, I think it's down here, but everybody can see it with my life sucks. Nothing good ever happens to me. I'm a loser, blah, 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 blah. And I've been working really, really hard to not do that. And as I have, it's like people are like, oh, you seem a little more lively, Madge.
Yeah, and you attract to yourself, that same goodness that you put out into the universe. And I'm victim of that too. Like things just start to spiral and snowball, and you're like, everything's going wrong, and it keeps going wrong. And then, if you can force yourself out of it to just grin and bear it, for lack of a better phrase, eventually it can turn around.
But Fitz, here's the thing about you as an Aquarius. Aquarius is the most future-oriented sign in the whole zodiac. I mean, you've really got you're tuned in to what's coming in. And most Aquarians, from the day they're born throughout their lives, they're just like decades ahead of kind of the status quo. And so it can sometimes make, and I'm Aquarius rising, so I include myself in the Aquarian tribe. Sometimes it can make us feel like the world is not listening to us, or that the world isn't, that we're swimming against the stream. And I don't know if you felt like that, but I
feel like that, Fitz.
Oh yeah,
you probably have. But guess what? Like I said, this is the best time ever to be an Aquarius. I mean, literally, more and more, people are going to recognize that in you, and you are going to recognize in yourself that you have radar. It's almost like radar for the path to the good future, because we can all see that old ways of doing things just aren't working anymore. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it seems like the world we grew up in is really just held together now by duct tape and chewing gum. And that's because it's time for a lot of those old paradigms. It's time to let them fall apart like an opening flower so something new can unfold. And so you carry that seed of the future. That's why I'm saying you're just beginning. This next part of your life is going to be the best ever. If you can let go. That's our biggest job is to let go of what's no longer serving us.
Let go of that shit, Fitz.
Yeah. Fitz, I didn't say this. Venus-Mars conjunction tomorrow is right on a little sky point that we all have in a different place in our own birth charts. It's called the North Node of the Moon. Ooh. And it's the place where the good future is coming into the planet. And wherever it is when you're born is seen as indicating why you're here. And it's like your personal North Star. And Venus and Mars, when they conjoin tomorrow at the full moon, they're going to be right on your North Node. It's like new, auspicious, creative beginning with your whole purpose in being alive now.
So, there's the North Node is very, like you said, auspicious. It's kind of like where your compass pointing forward, and there's also a South Node, which is opposite on the. Everybody's seen maybe I'll put one up on the screen, an astrological wheel or zodiac wheel. Mm-hmm. And so, with geometry, it has its opposite piece of the pie, which is another sign, and that's your South Node, and that symbolizes your past. So just out of curiosity, where's the South Node?
His South Node is in the sign of Cancer. And the sign of Cancer, now, Fitz, how confident are you the birth time that you gave Madge is accurate?
What did I give you?
He's not. You
1
said
PM?
1-ish. So he said,
I want to say that it's 1 p.m., but I don't know.
He didn't get exact, yeah.
I feel like it's very close to 1 p.m. And one of the reasons is that Mercury, the way you see things, the way you communicate what you're seeing with others, the way you understand what's going on, your ideas, the way you think, and you have a very creative Mercury, and it's at the very top of your chart, signifying that you are a creative thinker. Your whole chart pattern says, you could go in multiple directions with your energy.
And I do.
I was going to say, and he does.
Yeah. You're like a Renaissance man. Most Aquarians have a touch of that, but it's reinforced in multiple ways in your birth chart. But you really seem like a communicator above all, and a mind that is both intuitive and creative. And it's the very top of your chart, really signifying that your calling is, to share your creativity, your imagination, your ability to empathize with people, to help people. You're really all about communicating something that's inspiring, something that's creative.
See, I got this. I have similar stuff in my chart. That was kind of so that's why we.
Yeah, I love the whole Renaissance. I mean, I don't think I'm a Renaissance man, but can I paint you like my French girls, Madge?
Like, I don't do body paint. Sorry. Oh, not that kind of painting.
That's amazing stuff. So, just, devil's advocate. if my time was way off? Like, how much does that change what you're telling me? Because a lot of what you said is right on, but some of it is maybe I haven't discovered it yet or gotten there yet. But
well, most of what I'm telling you, I was being very intentional as I was working with your energy pattern to remember that we're not certain about the birth time. So everything will still be everything except the moon, because the moon moves faster than anything else as far as relationship to Earth. But everything else will still be in the same degree. And we know you have the Leo moon. And we know you were born on the day of a full moon. And if it was around 1 o'clock, it was about 8 or 9 hours before the full moon. But the only thing that could really change is what we call the rising sign. Your rising sign, if you were born right around 1 o'clock, is Cancer, which is the sign of the moon. And Cancer rising people are usually, it heightens the creativity, it heightens the emotional ability to emotionally connect with people, heightens the intuition. And I don't know, I just have kind of a Cancer, I can see a Cancer vibe in you. Madge, what do you think? Do you think Fitz, that would make his Leo moon even the ruling energy of his chart? And I know on some of the shows that I've listened to, like some of the episodes, like the one with Amy and your grandmother came in. No,
we loved that.
That would the moon.
Nobody else did, but we loved it. Sorry.
If the moon is your ruling planet, then the grandmother, the mother, those are especially important people, those relationships. So
now, does the rising sign, does that indicate anything on how I relate with other people, or?
It very much does, because the rising sign, if you look at a birth chart, and I'm going to send you yours so you can look at it, but it's divided into, it looks like 12 pieces of a pie. And those 12 pieces are called houses. They're like zones of energy for different parts of your life. And 11 of the 12 zones are all about you and your money, or your home, or your children, or your health, or your partnerships, or your career. Everyone is, each house is about you and something else, all except the first house, which is the rising. The rising sign is the gateway into the very first house. And that's only about you, Fitz. And if you have Cancer in the rising sign, it's, and the other thing about the ascendant or the rising sign is that's the dawn point. It's how you begin everything. And here's a good question to ask or think about, or you may have a right off the cuff response. Do you start things basically from a feeling that you have? Yeah. Would you say, like, a feeling, I don't want to do this anymore, or I really want to do that?
Yeah. I say that's pretty accurate.
So then would that go with the Cancer rising, or what does that mean?
It would go with the Cancer rising, and it would, and he's also got Mercury in Pisces, so that would just make him even more intuitive and creative. And the thing about Cancer and Pisces, they're water signs. And I'm sure you've heard about the Japanese doctor who did all the studies with water, and how he did all the pictures of water when playing different kinds of music, saying different kinds of words, using different tones. And the water crystals form completely different patterns. Water is very receptive. So if you have a strong water emphasis in your birth chart, you are picking up energy that is like, wait, you're not even aware of it. And that feeds your creativity. It feeds your, your ability to empathize with people and kind of find rapport with probably almost anybody.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Definitely Cancer rising. And then your moon, like Madge's, is in your second house. I
have a second house?
You have
Give me
12.
the keys. Where are the
12
keys?
houses. You got a whole neighborhood. You are a whole neighborhood.
It's like Monopoly.
Park Place.
That's right. So your moon is in your money house too. So it's really important for both of you to pay attention to how you're feeling and not to say, I shouldn't feel that way, or it doesn't matter how I feel, because your feelings are directly connected. When you're feeling good, you're much more magnetic.
Yeah.
To abundance.
Yeah.
I would be in a special kind of hell if I didn't go by my feeling and what I was feeling about something.
Just like we can all feel, if there's a weird vibe, we feel it. But that's one of the things that you and Fitz, another thing that you and Fitz have in common. In many ways, you're both paradoxes,
Oh, yeah.
And that's part of your medicine. That's part of your gifts. It expands you. People sense that you have deep and passionate feelings. And that's what that's why people don't forget you. And with Fitz, he's both very intuitive and creative, but in a really visionary, kind of in leading edge way. And Fitz, I wanted to say one more thing about having that North Node in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is kind of like the Benjamin Buttons of the zodiac. Usually people I have a little Capricorn granddaughter, and I'm just seeing this daily. The awareness of the hardships of life and sometimes experiences of the hard things about life. It's almost like they're front loaded for the Capricorns. So the hardest part of life for a Capricorn is usually earlier, not later in life. The older Capricorns get, the better things get.
Oh my God.
Your purpose is a Capricorn purpose, meaning what you really came here to do and to be is going to happen. You're just beginning to move into it. I mean, literally, this is said in your chart so many ways. And this year is a big turning point year for
The
you.
best is yet to come.
When are Capricorns born? What?
The Capricorns are born from the first day of Capricorn is the winter solstice, and then it goes.
So December 20.
It's the sign that comes right before Aquarius.
So like mid to December 22nd to January 22nd. We talk a lot of sex on here. I want to find out what sign all the Wedgie fanatics are. But anyway, I love you, Wedgie people. And no, I don't want to give you a wedgie. Sorry, but I love you. But anyway, excuse me. Can you tell real quick about the elements, which signs are which?
Yes. The water signs are Cancer. That's Fitz's rising sign, your Venus sign, and that's another great point of connection with you and Fitz. You really like each other because you both got Venus and Cancer.
You suck, Fitz. Fuck you.
And so Cancer, Scorpio, a very different kind of water sign, super intense, deep, passionate. That's your moon. And Pisces is the last water sign. That's you think like a Pisces. And that's really the creative.
I'm really close. I'm right on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, so I can see why that makes sense.
Yes. And Mercury's the closest planet to the sun. But I don't want to just paint the picture. Pisces is very creative and mystical. spiritual, compassionate. There are also more billionaires born under the sign of Pisces than any other
Story
sign.
of my life. Missed it by 2 days.
Your son.
I'm a Gemini. I'm flighty and
you
shit.
have the mind of a Pisces. Here's the key. This is why there are more billionaires under the sign of Pisces. It's what Walt Disney said. If you can dream it, if you can see it, if you can feel it, you can do it. I used to work for a woman who used to say that all the time. If you can dream it, you can do it. And behind her back, we would say, if she can dream it, we can do it for her.
That's right.
See,
Exactly.
I thought the reason most people become billionaires is because they're dicks. I mean, they're ruthless. They just go for it and do stuff.
Some of them are, but I think some of them were, and what's really telling is what happens when they become billionaires. What do they do with it? Like Bezos, man.
Yeah,
Let's build a yacht that they have to take a bridge apart to
I
get
just
by.
had an argument about this a discussion because I'm reading right now Anderson Cooper's book about the Vanderbilts.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't read that.
So interesting.
I bet.
It's so good and stuff I never knew. The Cornelius, the Commodore, the one who started all the wealth, was ruthless, and everybody. He was a known jerk, and he knew he was a jerk, and everything was about money. And like the next generations just like blew everything. Like really, they didn't really
all
work.
of them. All the rest of them?
Pretty much. Like Anderson Cooper's mother was Gloria Vanderbilt, and he's like, there was nothing left by the time she came. I mean, and Cornelius
Wow.
Actually, was he this? I don't know. There was a whole bunch of Cornelius Vanderbilts, but anyway, the railroad guy was like late 1700s, early 1800s. So yeah, by the time Gloria, she's like, oh. But then again, that's a relative term. Them, nothing left. They probably still have,
Right.
A couple of mil.
yeah.
Totally.
Whereas me,
50 mil.
negative
Nothing.
$42.
But those people that you would call dicks, if you looked at their charts, you always can see there's usually something that astrologers would call an affliction in their
your
chart.
downfall or whatever, your vice. No, not vice.
Yeah.
But,
And the truth is,
what's Fitz's affliction?
we all have challenges. That's how we grow. That's what kind of like the stone we're sharpening our swords on.
Mm-hmm.
But some people have harder ones, and even though they may look like they've got it made, they can be really miserable and twisted inside.
Yeah, I mean, that's there's always that, money can't buy happiness, but I'll tell you, someone who has, had lived below the poverty line for many years, it sure freaking helps.
Yeah.
Don't they say there's like a baseline, and if you make it to that baseline, I've seen $70,000, I've seen $100,000, but in, the great scheme of things, it's fairly modest. But what I've seen is if you make below the baseline, so you really have to worry about the basic, getting your basic, keeping the roof over your head, and then you will be affected. But if you make much over the, it's like once you hit that baseline, your happiness really doesn't change, even if you're making 10 times.
Yeah. And just another thing on that, you're talking about that baseline. You would think that would be what the minimum wage is, but no. There's people that have worked 40 hours a week on minimum wage, busting their hump, and still are below the poverty line.
And most of them are the ones doing what the people who were essential workers in the pandemic.
Yeah. Essential
the ones,
people.
like everything comes to a stop without them, and we don't pay them at all. And so we think, we've all been taught, when we talk about abundance, we're talking about something very tangible. Don't think about what could be or should be. Just deal with what is. And for people like you, a Gemini, and Fitz, and Aquarius, it's like the biggest, it's like somebody's letting the, puncturing your balloon, because air is your superpower for both of you. You have your sons in air.
That explains a lot.
My superpower is the most abundant element in the world.
Gas.
So the superpower of the air signs is to see a bigger picture.
Okay.
To think, well, how could it be?
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that.
That's totally.
Questioning it.
How could we make it better?
Yeah.
And we're going to see more and more as we go forward. That's the way we have to start thinking if we're going to have a good future or any future on this planet. And that's why, for both you and Fitz, but, Fitz is that Aquaria tribe. You're just coming into your star power.
Yay!
Better late than never.
Hey, exactly.
That's right.
Hey, at least
because by the time it's later, you've learned some things.
And you
Yeah.
appreciate it more.
Talking about. You have some life experience.
Yeah.
And
Yay!
people are going to listen to you.
As opposed to, becoming super successful at an early age where you're, I don't know, a lot of people make a lot of bad decisions because they're so young and they don't know what the hell,
Right.
life is about.
They're being,
That's
their whole psyche or whatnot is being formed while there's all this fuckery going on around them that's not a normal life.
It's good to be formed when you got nothing.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Exactly.
I don't want
or
to paint a
all
picture
the,
like you got nothing.
people who write the one great book and then you never hear of them again, or that's not your path.
In general, or you mean me
Well,
and
that's
him?
in particular Fitz.
Oh, Fitz.
With his Aquarian Sun and Capricorn North Node.
Awesome.
So my wife is Cancer. That's her sign.
Perfect.
So that's what I was getting at before. I'm like, is that good? Is that a good match?
Yes, because
Seems like
her
it.
sun
Seems pretty damn great to me.
Your ascendant. That's literally like she lights you up.
That's true.
And you get her. You
Most
really
of the
get
time.
her.
Most of the time.
Right.
Got to keep a little mystery. Come on.
It's really interesting, and I'm just amazed by your knowledge of this. And I know you've been doing this for a long time, and it's your thing. And I've been kind of one of those guys who's like, I don't know, a little skeptical. But then I talk to someone and they nail it every time, and I'm like, oh, okay. So much for being a skeptic.
But that's the thing. It's not like she's a, what's the word, psychic or soothsayer. That's not the point of it. It just gives you the general energies.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's right on. I think I'm a big fan.
I think it helps us find the silver lining in whatever is happening. Honestly, that's
True.
what I'm always looking for. How can we make some lemonade out of all these lemons? And let me just say this one thing to wrap up. This is the year to learn how to make lemonade, because the U.S., we all have been feeling it for years, but this is the peak. Our country is going through a kind of death and rebirth, because for the first time, this is something, it can only happen to a country that's been around for at least 248 years, and that is the planet Pluto, who is the agent of transformation and metamorphosis, death of the old, regeneration, rebirth. He's right back where he was on July 4th, 1776. Tomorrow, Fitz's birthday. So Fitz, the more you can really tune in to what does it mean for you, and this is true for all of us, but especially if you have your birthday on February 16th. The first there's going to be 3 times this year. It's a 3-part event called the U.S. Pluto return. We are never going back to normal. We've got to let go of what doesn't work so our country can regenerate itself. And otherwise, resistance is futile with Pluto. He rules death and taxes,
I don't think he gets enough screen time at Disney.
There's so much possibility, but this is nothing to, there's also a lot of very real, very intense change going on. And I know we all feel it. But astrology says, yes, it's happening. This is the most powerful thing to happen to our country ever. And we're alive for it. So what does that mean for us? How do we make ourselves count on the side of the good future? What can we do to help this country regenerate and transform?
Be nice to each other.
That's right. That's a big start.
And don't be like it. Your opinions aren't facts, and just because you have one opinion, it doesn't make the person who has the opposing opinion wrong or a loser or detrimental or whatever. It's just a difference of opinion. So people, cut that shit out. Just be nice. Be nice. That's my PSA. So Marcia, if somebody you all of you out there in Madge land could contact Marcia if you'd like. She can take your information and read your chart for you, do a little makeup, very reasonable rates. And how can they contact you?
They can email me at starsisterastrology@gmail.com, or they can message me, Star Sister Astrology, on Facebook. They can sign up for my mailing list on my website. I send out periodic updates. And soon I'm going to be doing a free webinar on the U.S. Pluto return and what it means for our country and what we can expect. And all that information will be available on Facebook.
What's your website?
Star Sister Astrology, www.starsisterastrology.com.
Ladies, if anybody's interested, Marcia has a Facebook group for just some of us select ladies, if anybody's interested. So
I'd like to be a fly on that wall.
So Marcia, I want to thank you so much. This was so interesting.
I love talking with you too. Anytime. It's really fun after watching so many episodes to be in one.
Well, these are the creeps that I watch. Thank you for my birthday reading. That was really amazing.
Have a great birthday, Fitz.
Thank you.
Okay. Make some wishes.
Make some wishes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marcia.
Okay, love you, Madge.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, my God. That was so awesome. Fitz, what did you think?
I'm always kind of just freaked out by when, with Amy and Marcia, the stuff that they know is mind-boggling.
It's interesting stuff to ponder, anybody who's a skeptic or whatever. What the hell? What's the harm? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the harm in
if it makes someone have a little hope, if it makes someone, feel a little like, I don't know, positive about their future, about what they are and their relationships, then why not?
You know what I tell you it did for me when it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago maybe now, she did my chart. I finally felt understood. And it was things about my, it was like, you weren't born to like sit at a desk. You're a communicator, you're an entertainer, you spread things. I'm like, that's what I thought my whole life, but I was told that wasn't a real job. So
right. So
yeah, it made me feel whole. So
validated.
Yes. Thank you. Like my parking. So anyway, hey, I just want to add in a quick thing for our Wedgie people. I'll wrap it up. But Wedgie people, I love you. As I said,
Wedgie people.
I know. I find it so interesting. I don't want to participate. I don't want to be in it. But I want to know about different fetishes, because I would have loved to have that talk with Marcia about what the hell, where does this come from?
I'll put my feet on this camera right now.
If it'll make me some money, yeah.
It will not. But
I can't give a wedgie and a one piece. Oh, I guess I could one piece bathing suit, but and somebody contacted me about there's people that have leather belt fetishes.
Oh, really?
Well, I hope it's not that erotic
The thing that
asphyxiation.
killed
Yeah.
Michael Hutchins and
Yeah.
the other guy?
The guy from NXS and Keith. No, what? Carradine? Mark
Carradine.
Carradine. So anyway, well, Fitz, I tip my hat to you
hat.
on your birthday. Yes, isn't it lovely?
A little sombrero.
Like Madge and Biscuits, or Madge's little hats, the other Madge. Anyway, I tip my hat to you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Love you long time.
Love you long time.
And
Appreciate it.
thank you for being here. Fitz, producer extraordinaire, Fitz at rockfox.com.
I'm going to go home and sleep for a week.
Go
But yes,
sleep. Yes, I'm going to let Fitz
check
go
out the
home.
website. We got all kinds of cool things. You could be a member of the Rockvox Club. I don't know. I just made that up. But
okay.
We do have membership. If you join as a member for however many podcasts you want to do, you end up saving like 23%.
Oh, is it like a hole punch card at the salon? You get one free manicure.
No, those cost money.
Anyway, thank you. And me, Madge, please subscribe while you're here. Like, subscribe, share, follow me, subscribe. It really helps me with my following. And please, and if you'd like to go to my Patreon, madgemadigan.com, I would love to have you, and you get extra goodies if you become a member. So once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.